They called him ambitious. They called him dangerous. But above all, Julius Caesar was a man who understood the power of decision. Born in 100 BCE to a patrician family, Caesar entered a Rome drowning in political chaos, where senators schemed for influence, generals raised private armies, and the Republic itself trembled under the weight of corruption. Caesar was not the strongest warrior, nor the wealthiest noble. Yet he carried with him something more powerful than gold or bloodlines: unshakable confidence and a belief that decisive action could bend destiny itself. His life was not a straight climb to glory. It was a series of moments where choices had to be made, choices that risked everything. From the start, Caesar's decisions defined him. When the dictator Sulla seized power and demanded that young Caesar abandon his wife Cornelia, Caesar refused. He could have obeyed, saved his fortune, and kept his safety. Instead, he chose principle over submission, defying the most feared man in Rome. That decision forced him into hiding, stripped of wealth and privilege, but it also revealed his character. Confidence is not born in comfort. It is tested in defiance. Exiled and hunted, Caesar rebuilt himself. He studied, trained, and honed his oratory until his words could sway crowds as easily as swords cut down foes. He traveled to Asia Minor, served in the military, and was once even kidnapped by pirates. Here again, his decision-making stood out. Instead of cowering, Caesar laughed in their faces, demanding they raise his ransom because he was worth more than they thought. He told them boldly that once free, he would return and crucify them all. The pirates laughed until Caesar kept his word. It was a lesson. True confidence does not waver under threat. It acts with certainty. Back in Rome, Caesar entered politics. He borrowed heavily, plunging himself into debt to fund public games and win the favor of the masses. To many, this was recklessness. To Caesar, it was investment. He gambled on himself, confident that power would repay the risk. And he was right. Through charisma, alliances, and relentless ambition, Caesar climbed the ranks of Roman politics. He mastered not just military command, but the hearts of the people. Decision after decision, he built momentum, until his name carried weight in every corner of the Republic. As a general, Caesar revealed another side of confidence: speed. In Gaul, where tribes outnumbered him many times over, Caesar did not wait. He struck before enemies could unite, moving armies with such precision that his foes believed him everywhere at once. His soldiers followed him not only because of strategy, but because Caesar radiated certainty. He marched with them, fought beside them, shared their hardships. His decisiveness was contagious, transforming ordinary men into an unstoppable legion. Then came the moment that would define history. In 49 BCE, the Senate, fearing his power, ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. To obey meant humiliation. To resist meant civil war. On the banks of the Rubicon River, Caesar paused. He knew this was no ordinary decision. It was the point of no return. And then, with calm resolve, he said, "Alea iacta est." The die is cast. He crossed the Rubicon, and with that single act, set in motion the fall of the Republic and the birth of the Roman Empire. This decision is remembered not just for its political impact, but for its timeless lesson, that life often presents us with Rubicons, moments when we cannot stay in safety, when we must choose to risk everything for what we believe in. Most people hesitate, waiting for certainty that never comes. Caesar shows us that true power lies in committing, even without guarantees. After victory in the Civil War, Caesar's decisiveness reshaped Rome itself. He reformed laws, rebuilt debt systems, expanded citizenship, and even redesigned the calendar we still use today. Each action was bold, sweeping, and controversial. He was not content with half measures. And though his enemies called him a tyrant, even they could not deny that his decisions left an indelible mark on history. Yet, decisiveness comes with cost. Caesar's confidence inspired loyalty, but also jealousy. Senators whispered that he reached too far, that he aimed not to lead the Republic, but to crown himself king. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, he entered the Senate unguarded, confident in his authority. It was his final decision, and perhaps his most fatal. Surrounded by conspirators, including those he once called friends, he was stabbed 23 times. Even in his death, however, Caesar proved the paradox of decisiveness. Bold choices make you unforgettable, but they also make you vulnerable. So what lessons can we draw from Caesar's life? First, confidence is not arrogance. True confidence is forged by surviving hardship, by refusing to bow under pressure. Second, decisions carry risk, but indecision carries stagnation. Every time Caesar acted, he grew stronger. Every time he gambled, he either won or learned. Third, leadership is not about being perfect, but about inspiring belief. Caesar's soldiers and citizens followed him not because he was flawless, but because he never hesitated. His certainty gave them courage. In our own lives, we each stand at the edge of rivers to cross. Should we pursue the dream, take the risk, or remain where it's safe? Most never step forward, held back by doubt. But Julius Caesar's story reminds us, history remembers the decisive. Whether you succeed or fail, the act of choosing boldly defines you far more than hesitation ever could. Julius Caesar was not merely a conqueror of lands, he was a conqueror of hesitation. He proved that confidence, paired with decisive action, can alter the fate of nations. And though his empire fell, his example endures. When your moment comes, when your own Rubicon appears before you, remember his life. Remember that clarity comes not before decision, but after. The world belongs to those who dare. So when doubt whispers, answer as Caesar did. Cross boldly, act with confidence, and let the die be cast. Here at Mind Time, we believe history isn't just a story. It's a tool, a guide, a mentor. If you're ready to learn how the world's greatest minds thought, struggled, failed, and overcame, then this is the place for you. Subscribe to Mind Time for weekly lessons from history that will sharpen your mindset and strengthen your self-discipline. Because as we like to say here at Mind Time, don't just learn history, become wiser because of it.